Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. How with the gang we packing? We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoe, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas key. You with me, sheesh. Bonito, cheap, Keith.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Yeah, head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mill, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex, but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all, I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. On the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, oh my God, she's going to zero. Bitcoin got the dumpski. Guys, I'm not going to lie. Last night, we were looking at that daily red dot and that 90-minute money flow crossover, and that was my preferred scenario. However, I kind of thought it was a little too obvious to actually play out. And sometimes when you want the market to do something, it just likes to do the opposite. But we wound up seeing that play out. The short absolutely slapped down to the POC of the range. And I want to talk about that situation because I made a bunch of money on that short position, but I accidentally closed the whole position instead of taking partial profit. So that is a little bit painful, but hey, can't complain about making some money. And shout out, I forgot who said it. Somebody in the chat said I used Frankie's TA and I held that short to 84K. So let's go. Shout out to you, man. Guys, we are coming down to some key levels of support. And I'll be honest, I don't really like the way things look. We didn't really get any strong confirmations in this zone for a massive long position. So I want to talk about this. Are we going to lose this key level of support and continue lower? Are we about to see the start to the dump down to about $70,000 to $72,000? I'm going to break it down all in tonight's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to the CandleMafia. What is going on? Smash that like button, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button if you have not already. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto, and we are going to be giving away some crypto tonight. So stick around till the end of the stream for that. And weekend price action is sketchy. Shout out to Dave Hagan. Yeah, are we going to get the weekend dump, guys? I'm not going to lie. There are some some things on the chart. That 2-day is still looking pretty bearish, and that red dot is incoming. Are we about to see the dump? I'm going to cover it all tonight. Shout out to Bruce. What is going on? Says much love from Italy. Shout out to my fellow Italians out there. Shout out to Bruce. Welcome in. We got E-Generate in the chat. Said classes in session. We got Tony in the chat. Not Tony D. This is Tony1188. What is going on? He says bing bong. Shout out to you, man. We got Satoshi Stacker. Said I always love free crypto. Shout out to Satoshi. Hey, if your crypto's going down, guys, we're just going to keep stuffing it in your pockets on the way down. And then hopefully one day it goes back up to higher prices. We got William in the chat. Said, give me some green for God's sake. Shout out to William. Yeah, man. We'll take a look here. We're going to break down everything for you guys. I'm going to show you the key levels to the downside and some key levels that we must get above if we want to see a continuation to the upside. We got Uncle Jesse in the chat, our like police. If he asks you to smash that like button, guys, kindly touch that like button. Poke it with your finger, your toes, your butt. Kiss it, lick it. We don't care. We don't judge you. Just smash that dang like button. But yeah, shout out to Danny G. Said, when Lambo, I'll tell you what, Lambo probably, well, actually, I'm not going to lie. We made some money on that dump to the downside. But typically for the spot bags on these dumps, probably Lambo delay. Shout out to you, man. We got Melissa in the chat. Shout out to our female CandleMafia. We got Rob the Crypto Snob, Crypto Billy, Darren Does Things, Chemistry Bro, Tyler Durden, Crypto A9. You guys know who the mods are. Show them some love in the chat. What is going on? We got Francis in the chat. Said, hey, Frankie, what is going on, man? Welcome in. We got K Diggity. Said, when Geo. I don't know what that means. Shout out to K Diggity. When Geo, I don't know. If Geo is a car, probably... not for a little while. But anyway, let's see. We got Nick Dunn in the chat. Said LFG CandleMafia. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And we got a lot to look at on the chart. So without further ado, smash that like button. Tommy in the chat. What is up, bro? Let's see. Where's the likes, peep? Shout out to Jazz B. Smash that like button, guys. Let's run it up to 200 likes before the next 5 minutes is up. I think we could do it. Happy Friday, guys. Shout out to Alex. Welcome in, bro. Let's see. Cryptic Crabman, welcome in. But guys, we got a lot to look at with this dump. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys. Oh, man. I'll be honest with you guys. Bitcoin is kind of looking weak right now. As we, yesterday, I'm going to kind of start off to kind of how we got to where we are. Yesterday on the live stream, obviously, we were looking at a specific signal potentially printing on the chart for a continuation to the downside, and I was holding my short position. Let me see if I can pull that up. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me go ahead and hide this position, and we'll just take a look at this, right? So was holding the short position up here from about $88,200. That did wind up playing out, guys. As you know, we've been looking at this range, and, I was kind of hoping, right, my preferred scenario, which I was talking about yesterday, not necessarily the most likely scenario, but, I was kind of done trading this range, right? We had been trading this range in the premium Discord. We got some nice scalps, but at the end of the day, right, this just became kind of a low probability situation for me, so I kind of sat it out. I just held my short from the top here, and, I was hoping yesterday, what we were looking at yesterday on the live stream was that daily red dot potentially incoming with our 90-minute money flow crossover into the red. Now, guys, I have been talking about making a tutorial video about this Market Cipher B116 strategy where we look for the red dot, not just on the daily and the 90-minute. There's a couple time frames you could look at this strategy on. But yesterday, we were looking at the daily red dot incoming with a potential 90-minute money flow crossover. And if we got that 90-minute money flow crossover, that is where we were going to be looking for that continuation down. And I was hoping to come down to our next key level of support, which we are now stalling out at. I don't know if I would call this like holding support very well. It is a little bit suspicious. I do think things look a little bit weak, and we are now losing our key level of support, which is going to be that point of control sitting there in the middle of the range. But yesterday we were looking for that potential continuation down. That was my preferred scenario. Like I said, I was kind of yesterday, didn't really love this range anymore, held the short from the top and was just waiting to come down back into our key level of support or up into our key level of resistance to look for the next significant positions. And again, my preferred scenario was this, to let that short play out. And it did, right? I made a bunch of money on that short position, made a few grand. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I went to take partial profits, and I don't know. I just like wasn't paying attention. I don't even know what happened. I just like fat fingered it, and I closed the whole position. I wanted to take some partials and hopefully hold it for a potential continuation down over the weekend. And we're going to talk about if that weekend dump can come in. Again, the 2-day is not looking very good in my own personal opinion. But can't complain about making some money. It took 2 days to make a few grand. Can't really complain about that, but it is painful, guys. But I am not FOMO shorting here, obviously. Even if we do continue down, I'm happy to walk into the weekend with my profits, and then, just kind of reassess the situation at those next key levels of support. But we got that move. The 90-minute with that the 90-minute money flow crossover with that daily red dot is oftentimes, guys, a fire strategy to look at for that continuation down. And pretty nice here, right? Now, I will say this for the continuation up, guys. There's a few different levels I'm looking at, right? This was obviously the next key level of support. We were either looking to come up here for the short or look to come down here for the long. And there is a lot of confluence in this zone, guys. I'm not going to lie. If we take a look at this, right, take a look at we have a daily horizontal level in there. We also have some naked points of controls. We have a daily naked point of control that we have lost and flip to resistance. Again, if we do continue up here, guys, even if we get above this POC, we do have some levels that could flip to pretty strong resistance. But we have the POC of the range. We have the daily horizontal. And then we had a couple of levels down here. We had a weekly naked point of control, which we did just tap on the way down there. We came and tapped that. Now, this was actually not naked on everything. It was naked on TradingView. It was not naked on Exo charts, but it was down there, right? We did come and we got a little bit of a bounce to the upside there, but this was kind of that next confluent level of support. We had the CME gap, we had the POC, we had the daily, we had the weekly, and POC, so a lot of support in here. We also had, I actually just took it off the chart, but we also have the golden pocket down here, right? So if we were going to look for higher lows to come in for a continuation up through the rest of this profile to come tap that value area high at about $89,317, we really wanted to and still want to hold this golden pocket, right? This would be, we really need that, right? We got to get out of here in a big way to continue the upside. And I'm going to show you guys why I'm not really so hopeful for that, unfortunately. But yeah, we got that move down, and I am in a little bit of a scalp long position, and I talked to the premium Discord about this. I actually took one long down here, got stopped out for a small loss. We saw some signs that we were going to continue down. I took it here. We got the move up. I did not like the rejection we were getting. Actually, I think it might have been here. And we got out of the position, and it continued down. And then I did take another little position down here. But I'll be honest with you guys, I am kind of expecting that to potentially get stopped out because we don't really have a ton of confirmation down here. We got some local confirmations, and that trade is in profit right now. Money flow starting to come up here on the 12-minute, which, if we are going to get a bigger push up at this point, guys, what we're going to need is this 12-minute and the 15-minute money flow to cross over into the green. The 15 minutes trying to ride up. And we have our 4-hour green dot, potentially looking to print a green dot here. So yeah, like we would need that green dot to print. We need this money flow to continue to the upside, but there is a lot of kind of mixed signals here. If we come on over to the 24 and the 30-minute, you can see our VWAPs over the 0 line. If we print a red dot here, I'll just say this. I have my stop loss set, and I'm not going to cry about it if I get stopped out because, again, we're going to take a look at some of those higher time frames and why I think we might be able to continue to the downside. And it's kind of a pain, guys, because I really didn't mean to close this whole position down here on the short, and I would have liked to continue to profit there. But like I said, missed gains are none of your business. I say this all the time. I do feel the emotion, right? It's like, man, if we dump here, I'm going to be like, dang it, I could have made more money, but it's okay, right? Like you have to kind of take a step back and like really look at your situation. It's like, am I really, it's so weird. It's like, am I really upset for making money and not making more money? It's a really weird situation, and I'm sure if you're out there trading, you've felt that before as well. Now, I am not just reacting off of that, guys. I'm not just, and again, I do think there is a possibility if we can't reclaim this POC, we might be on our way to those lower prices, and I will cover these in just a minute. But I'm not just FOMO shorting here. I was talking to the premium Discord about this earlier today. Like, if I was going to take a new short position, I would need to see a little bit of kind of like consolidation or some kind of retracement to come in here to short as we push up, right? I'm not just going to FOMO short here, for no reason, right? I need some kind of a trade setup, even if I think it's likely, right? A lot of people say like, well, hey, like if you think we're going to continue down, why not just short right now? And the reason for that is because I need to follow my strategy and I need to actually take trades off of an actual setup, right? I can't just say, I think we're going to continue down. I'm just going to gamble and look for that move, right? I would need a retracement or something like that. If we get it, maybe I'll take it. But for the most part, guys, we made a bunch of money this week. So I'm going to walk into that, into the weekend with that profit and just kind of relax and assess the situation as it develops. On Monday, if we're back down at our next key levels of support, we'll look for some longs. If we do wind up somehow, like I said, I wouldn't really have super high hopes for this, but if we do wind up holding that golden pocket somehow, getting back above the CME gap and just riding back up to the value area high, the key level above does still remain the same. Our value area high sitting at about $89,317. We also have some liquidity up there, so that level remains the same. And like I said, it's an if this, then that statement, right? If we came up here, we look for the short. If we come down here, our current short continues to make us profit, and then we could look for the long positions down here. But I just, personally, right, like I could take shots at the long, right? I have no problem with that. And if I get stopped out, I'll take a small loss, not even getting close to eating into the profit that I made on that short. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get a little midstream pump and see that long come into deeper into profit. But this is support, guys. If we lose this weekly naked point of control, the next likely stop for Bitcoin, in my opinion, as we always say, when you lose that golden pocket, where is that next likely place for price to go? It's going to be that 786 Fibonacci retracement, which right now is sitting at about $82,700. And when you lose the POC of the range, which is sitting right on that golden pocket, what are you going to be anticipating next? You're going to be anticipating not the 786, but the value area low, which is sitting closer to about $81,650. So still viewing this as a volume profile, lose the POC, going to be looking to go down towards that low. And like I said, just like we have a lot of confluence in this zone that we were looking at yesterday, right? If we lose this, this is an honorable mention level. This is the 786. We lose the golden pocket. I would expect to come there. We do have the daily horizontal here, so you do have some kind of confluence on this level. However, if I were to, which I probably won't be because I won't be on the charts this weekend, but, if I were looking for a long down there, I would be looking at that as a scalp long, because if you take a long from here, right, you're basically just coming into your POC, and we know that, even if you do get that bounce into your POC, if you can't get back above it, right, you're going to be looking for that rotation back down to the value area low. And when we take a look at some of these higher time frames, guys, obviously the daily gave us the drop, but let me hide some of these levels just to make it a little bit less noisy here. I'll actually hide all the TA. This 2-day, guys, this is, what have we been looking at, right? We knew once we got this drop down to $80,000 to $75,000, we were going to be looking for potential bounces off those key levels of support, which obviously I'm not going to bring it up because it's going to bring up all the other TA. But we looked for that retracement. We started to get the retracement. And, on these pushes into some of these key levels, I'll actually pull this up on... I'll pull it up on this clean chart here, right? On the higher time frames, right? When we see something like a weekly green dot looking to print, which we do have here, it is getting close. However, the 2-day is likely going to play out, in my opinion. That 2-day is probably going to play out before we see this weekly green dot print. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we can just get that weekly green dot and shoot back to the upside. But if we were to get that green dot, right, we could look for that retracement to continue into some of our bigger key levels of resistance where we had the $97,000 golden pocket, POC confluence within this range. And then we also have the $91,000 value area low of that current range, right? If I pull this up over here, let me go ahead and I'll just hide the dailies to clean up the chart. But, obviously we have the upper range of the up here, right? $91,000 about is that value area low, right? So it's like, are we going to get the rejection? And these were the fib retracements that we were looking at, right? We have the golden pocket. This is an area where we could potentially, let me get rid of this, where we could potentially put in a lower high, right? If we're going to continue this aggressive downtrend, right? We got a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Are we about to break that structure to the downside once again, coming into our next macro key levels of support? It is possible, guys, because if you look at this 2-day, honestly, you have the money flow continuing into the red, right? We tried to come up a little bit, but obviously you have to wait for that crossover. As long as this money flow stays in the red, our thought process is, hey, these green dots on the higher time frames can give us the retracement, which it did do, and we caught some nice long positions on the way up. However, if that money flow stays in the red and we get that next red dot and we put the rejection in at a golden pocket 786 retracement zone, which is sitting right here, it could be that lower high. This is an area where we have a high probability of putting in a lower high and then continuing the downtrend, which could potentially push us down to between, I would call it, let me pull up the daily and weekly naked point of control. We got one here, right? So we got one sitting, daily naked point of control sitting at about 76,578, and then the weekly naked point of control is sitting closer to 75K, and that front ran 786 is also sitting right in the middle of that range. So, with the way this 2-day looks, if we get that red dot, it could have the power, especially because we put that rejection in on the golden pocket 786 retracement, it could potentially have the power to give us that break of structure to the downside to come revisit some of these key levels. And I think we all know if we don't hold these levels, we could be in for some more pain, targeting between $70,000 to $72,000. Coming back down, let me go ahead and just show that real quick. We have a golden pocket at 72,190, and then the bottom of that golden pocket in confluence with that value area high is sitting at about 70,000 to 69,870. So this is still going to be that next bigger zone of support down below. Hopefully we don't have to see that over the weekend. That would be absolutely brutal. But these are the next key levels to the downside, guys. And again, I have to revisit this today. We know that the green dot could give us an ebb or flow to the upside, but if that money flow stays in the red, you could look for that continuation of the downtrend. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I am feeling a little bit of the pain here. The fact that I closed that short in full by accident, it would have been beautiful, right? Because I would have been in a really cushy position here. If we did continue down over the weekend, I would have been holding that short from the almost like tick top here. But again, can't complain about making money. There's always going to be another move. So if we did get the drop down, it's like, all right, I'll stop out of that local scalp long position, and then we continue down, whether we come down to the local levels or the more macro levels to put in that macro lower low, right? Then we could just look for our next positions on that next move, right? There's always another opportunity on the chart, and sometimes, guys, I feel that emotion too. I'm feeling it today. But again, you sometimes have to take a step back. You have to take your wins as wins, regardless of if you could have squeezed a little extra profit out of it. To be honest, the reason it bothers me is because it was just like I fumbled it. I just made a mistake, right? It wasn't like I'm totally fine closing a short position, being like, hey, I like that move. I made a bunch of money. Let me just get out and take my money. But I wanted to take partial profit. So it is a little bit painful, but it's okay, right? Like, again, take a step back. Like, am I really going to complain about making money? Sometimes I have to check myself. But other than that, guys, like higher time frame, we just really have to be careful of that lower high coming in. And if it does, we have those key levels down below. Come up to a higher time frame. We have those bigger key levels down below. And I do want to cover some of the local levels, but just so you guys know, if we get a huge weekend dump and everything gets scary, all eyes on the $75,000 weekly naked point of control. We lose that. That's where we might be coming down to the oh my God, mommy, hold me level. And if we start losing this, guys, that is really where things start to go bad, in my opinion. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're not quite there yet, but I just want to point out that today, this is something that we've been looking at for quite some time. That money flow stays in the red. The thought process is lackluster retracement, lower highs, and lower lows. And even if the lower high doesn't come in here, let's say we do continue up, we do still have some of those key levels of resistance. So even if we do continue up and it starts to get bullish again on Monday or something like that, we are still going to be looking at this until this money flow crosses into the green. We are still going to look at that opportunity of continuing the downtrend. So just keep that in mind. But I do just want to cover some of the local levels as well, which really remain the same, guys, if I'm being totally honest, right? I'll hide this. Let me go ahead and I'll just hide some of this other stuff. Bada boom. We'll get rid of this. We'll hide that. We'll hide this. We'll hide that. And then we'll just pull up our current range, right? So we're still within our, general profile, our current volume profile that we're looking at. So again, lose that weekly naked point of control. We could potentially look for that drop down to the value area low, 81,640. And this is a zone, guys. We do have confluence down here. If I could pull it up, right? I think we have a weekly level down there as well, right? So really between about 81,618 all the way down to about 80,614 is that zone, right? So I'm just sitting on my hands at this point, right? If my long plays out, that's awesome. We can make some money, and I will talk about some key levels of resistance above locally. But if we break down, I'll get stopped out of that long, and I usually would say the short will continue to pay us out, but in this case, it won't. But we'll just look for those bigger levels, and I'll just look for the setups. If we don't get the setups there, then we just hold on for that bigger drop to the downside. Now, if we do continue up locally, I will say, lower time frames, like I said, 15-minute money flow trying to creep up here with that 4-hour green dot coming in. But again, with our money flow coming out, we do have to be careful of lower highs and lower lows locally now as well. Let me go ahead and get this off the chart. Bada boom. So if we do get more of a bounce to the upside, obviously, guys, like the goal here would obviously be to get above the CME gap. There's a bunch of levels that we want to get above. And let me actually just, I'm just going to hide the daily and the weekly MPOC. And by the way, for anybody who's curious, I am long from that weekly naked point of control on this little swing failure pattern that we got here. We came down, we wicked below, we closed above, and then I looked to take that position to the upside. And we did swing fail it on some pretty low, like 5-minute SFP, and then it's kind of just been bing-bonging around ever since. Now it's in profit, but kind of just been going sideways here. But if we do continue up, I want to talk about some of the key levels above because there are a bunch of very important levels. Number one is the POC. Obviously, this POC is going to act as a magnet for price, but if we can reclaim this somewhat, we could look for a continuation up, but I wouldn't really get that excited, right? Because if we do pull our retracement levels here, we do have the golden pocket, which is now, come on. We have this golden pocket, which is now confluent with our daily naked point of control. So if we're looking at like hyper-local levels here, if we got that retracement up, I'm going to be looking to lock in some profits here, probably earlier than this golden pocket. But, if we're going to be looking for that continuation to the downside, again, looking at our 2-hour money flow starting to cross over into the red here. 2-hour money flow crossing over into the red. Our 3-hour money flow is starting to come out as well, and then the 1 hour is obviously deep in the red. So if we do continue up, we could potentially look for some key levels of resistance. First off, here at the $84,758 is where that golden pocket comes in, and then the top of that golden pocket is confluent with the daily naked point of control at 84,838. So we'll see. If we push up there, we're going to have to look at that as definitely a key level of local resistance, and another really, really big level if we are going to get that golden pocket retracement, guys. A big level that we want to get above is going to be this anchored VWAP, right? Because like hyper locally, this is going to be a big level because this is not just a regular anchored VWAP. This is the anchored VWAP pulled from the absolute low of this pullback, right? So we pulled back, I pulled the anchored VWAP, and it has been holding us up ever since, right? We come down, we bounce off of it, and this was part of the reason. This anchored VWAP is part of the reason why I was looking at this as a key level of resistance within the context of our local range, right? The blue boxes are where we look for bounces, and the red boxes are where we look for rejections, right? Only with confirmations are we going to take the trades. But if we were able to come down here and hold this anchored VWAP a little better, then I would be more open to the idea of putting in a higher low and continuing up, right? But now it's kind of potentially looking to flip to resistance. So if we do push up, we're going to want to get above that anchored VWAP. We're going to want to get above the CME gap, and then that will allow us to potentially go for that golden pocket 786 retracement. And not going to lie, if we are going to see that 2-day red dot print and we get the retracement first, this would be a high probability area, in my opinion, to put a lower high in before getting the bigger drop down to our lower levels here, right? Come back below the POC and then start to target towards that value area low, daily naked point of control, golden pocket confluence. But I am scalp long here. We are scalp long. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Bada boom. Yeah, so up about, let me pull this up real quick. Up about $748. Not too bad, at least for now, but we'll see. I got my stop loss set. If we get stopped out, it's no big deal. But we're up 754 for now. Not too bad for the day, especially with the somewhat, it's definitely a risky, this is like a knife catch situation, to be quite honest with you. Just juggling those knives like we're in a circus here. But yeah, not too bad. We are in profit there. But again, I don't really have super, super high hopes for that, even if we do continue up. Just, be aware of these key levels of resistance. So that's what I'm going to be looking at locally. And if we do continue down, just keep in mind you do have that daily /786 in between our value area low and our POC. But the idea here just simply, guys, is if we can't get back above that POC in a big way, remember it's a magnet, so you can kind of bing bong around. But once we lose it, daily's probably next. Could you get a bounce there? Sure, but you have to be careful because the POC is right above you. So I would look at scalps down here. In the context of like a small scalp long position, because again, you get stuck below that POC. We're going to eventually expect to come down here. So that's kind of how I'm handling things. We're still making money whether price goes up or down here, but yeah, I would just be very careful here, guys, in my own personal opinion. That 2-day does look pretty ugly. Yikes. Just not really looking that pretty. Shout out to Uncle Jesse. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, what's wrong with you all? Like the dang stream. Smash that like button if you guys have not already. I can't see the live viewers, but we have 1,600 views. Not viewers, but 1,600 views. I think we can run up to at least 250 likes. I don't know what we're at right now, but I think we can run into 250 likes. No problem. Let's see. Shout out to Vitali, I think is what that says. Is this reversal very easy for you guys to enter? Shout out to Vitali. I don't know 100% what you mean by that. I'll be honest. I took the long position. We came into support. I saw that SFP. That's just the breakdown right there. I saw the SFP. So I took the position, right? And again, like pretty clear invalidation. We start breaking this wick. We're going to want to get out of that position, but hopefully we can push up. Give us a move up here, Bitcoin. Give us a little bit of relief, even if you're going to dump to the downside. But right now, for that local move up, all eyes on the 15-minute money flow, the 12-minute money flow, and hopefully we can get that 4-hour green dot to print as well. Maybe it'll print while we're live on stream. if we're lucky. And then the higher time frame over the weekend, guys, it's all eyes on that 2-day red dot. That 2-day red dot prints. Ooh, I'm not going to like that. I'm not going to like that. Shout out to Solta. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, hey, Goat, can you check AKT? Huge news. Shout out to Solta. When we get into the altcoins, I'll try to take a look at AKT. I'll just write that down right here. Super chats do not guarantee that we look at your altcoin. Got to say that because I don't want people spending money thinking it's a guarantee. But shout out to Solta. I will try to take a look at AKT when we jump into the altcoins. And we will do that soon, guys. I'm going to take a look at Ethereum. Shout out to Tales of Mystery. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. Let's see. Let's just check in on chat real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Jesse for the super chat. I'm not short, just holding spot, and the reality of the situation sucks. Shout out to Daniels. Shout out to Danielson. Yes, I know it is getting very, very difficult to hold those spot bags, but like I said, guys, you know, I'm not. I always say I'm not going to cover it, and then I talk about it for a long time, but I'm literally just going to mention this very quickly. I still, again, this dump does not make me think that the bear market is here. Are we rejecting a very a Fibonacci retracement? Gonna have to come lower to grab it, right? Are we rejecting, that local fib? Come on. Yes, we are. Is that an area that we could potentially put a lower high in at? Yes. Is it guaranteed? No. But even if we get that bigger drop down, guys, my higher time frame context remains the same. If we put a lower high, whether it's in here or whether it's in one of the bigger Fibonacci retracements, maybe 97K or even 91,000 near that value area low, just remember that golden pocket that I just pulled right here is confluent with our value area low of the major range. We've already come down and bearishly retested that, so I don't know if we're going to get that move all the way up there, which is why I say there is a possibility of this golden pocket 786 being the lower high. And if it is, that 2-day, not looking, that does look like a pretty nice place to put in the lower low into our next key levels that I just went over. And then again, we lose that level, we could look down to $72,000 to $70,000. Now, again, does that mean it's the bear market? In my opinion, not necessarily. It's going to be a really hard call to make because, again, we do have really, really key support down here, value area high, structural support on these highs. And then you have the POC just down below that. You have some liquidity sitting down here. So it's going to be an assess the situation type of deal. But, you know, once we start getting accepted into this range, guys, that's really where I think things get a little bit more sus. Once we get in there, you know, that's where it's like, hey, maybe we put the lower low in. Hopefully we get some bullish divergences on that 786 and 75K. But if not, you know, we could wiggle our way down. But it's not really until we start losing that POC at about $67,500 where I would anticipate the much bigger drop down. And I cover this almost every day. At that point, it's like we've had 45% dumps. We've had 55% dumps in bull markets before seeing the actual bear market come in, right? Like 55% dump, new all-time high. Then you go into the bear market. So, you know, I still don't fall in the camp that we're in a bear market just yet, but this could be the lower high and more pain could be coming in, right? Because there might need to be some more pain before they finally start cutting rates and, you know, we could finally see the next leg up start. But 2-day money flow, we just have to read what we have on the charts here, guys. That money flow being the red on the 2-day is not necessarily a great sign. But it's not stopping us from making that quick money on these little scalps. Shout out to Darren Dustings, says, think my like is number 34. Shout out to Darren Dustings. I appreciate you, bro. We're going to get jerseys for everybody, and we'll put your like number on that jersey. Let's see. Shout out to Subi. I don't know how to say that. Said, bro, give me a shout out. Shout out to you, bro. Welcome in, bro. Shout out to you. You got your shout out. Shout out to Subi or Shubi. I don't know how to say it. Shout out to TDK. Thank you for the super chat. Said golden cross on the daily on total opinion, please. So I know we also have an incoming potential death cross here. Let me pull up my death indicator. But yeah, we take a look at the death cross potentially coming in here. I'll be honest, right? Like, I have a video covering what I think about death crosses and golden crosses. And to be honest, guys, like, this is, I know a lot of people look at this like as an end-all be-all thing. But in my opinion, right, in the video that I made about this a long time ago, I believe, you know, it's not a it's really not an end-all be-all indicator, right? Like, we've had how many death crosses have we had? We had one right here, right? Let me just hide the actual price or the actual TA. So yeah, we had one right here. We rallied into the actual death cross, and then we got the death cross, put in a higher low, a higher high, and then put in another lower low. So I think a lot of people look at this as like the end all be all indicator. Then we wound up getting a golden cross that wound up giving us a move to the upside, and then now we have a potential death cross incoming. So maybe if it plays out anything like that last death cross, right? Like as we're seeing that moving average come down for the cross, we get the dump, and then we rally back up into the actual death cross. So it's not really like, I mean, it is nice to look at it here. It's like, oh, cool, we got the cross, we got the move up, and then we got another cross here before another big move up, and then like we had another death cross right here, and what happened to this one? We kind of dumped moving into it, and then we got it, and then pretty much the dump was over, right? They crossed, we dumped a little bit, and then we rallied back up. So I'll be honest, guys, like, at the end of the day, like if we get a death cross towards the top of the market, is it going to look like that death cross called it? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's not an end-all be-all indicator, right? And you can just see here. It's like you kind of just chop around, and then you get a golden cross right after, and you get the big push up, right? So it's very hard to say exactly what will happen here, but it is incoming. It is about to happen. So, yeah, TDK said golden cross on total. Let's see. That's interesting. That is interesting. Let's see here. When was the last one? I mean, yeah, it's like the last one we dumped, and then you get the golden cross, and then you come back up. So, I mean, yeah, it's not something that I pay super like a ton of attention to, right? Like, not that it doesn't mean anything. But yeah, I mean, you cross over, you start dumping before, you get the crossover, it continues, and then you just rally back up. It's I wouldn't necessarily say it's something to look at to like guarantee that the bear market is here or anything like that. If it plays out like anything, at least on Bitcoin, right? If it plays out anything like the last one, maybe you'd only use history as like a slight indicator of what might happen next. But where's it at? Where'd it go? Right here. So, yeah, I mean, if you get that, maybe we rally into it as it happens, and then we kind of just go sideways and get another leg up. I don't know. It's not something I put a lot of weight on. Not that I would ignore it, but it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of people just think like every time there's a death cross, it's like all the thumbnails is like, oh my God, death cross. Are we going to zero? Right. But in my video, if I said death cross bringing us to zero ? I'd be like, I don't know. Not necessarily. Right. It doesn't always mean that. But it really depends on like where you are in the market. Obviously, this death cross wound up being much worse. Right. Because it's like, hey, we're at the top of the market. But, I don't think a lot of people go back and look at all the other times they've gotten golden crosses and death crosses that kind of just either go sideways or don't really mean much, right? But I mean, hey, it's really more of something that you can look at in hindsight and be like, oh, I guess that death cross was the top, right? But if you were looking down here, it's like, oh my God, is this the bear market? Are we going to zero? Oh my God. And then it's like you just get another leg up. So it's not really something I put a lot of attention on. But it is interesting that you're getting the death cross on Bitcoin, and then you have the golden cross on total, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. But yeah, that's kind of my opinions on it. You just like, I would recommend like this indicator is actually pretty fire because it just makes it like super easy to find it. Cabin Cross Check by Max Payne. Shout out to the video, or Max Payne. Shout out to the video game. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't really have too much of a strong opinion. We just kind of have to see how it plays out. But I would just go back in history and kind of like look at how it's played out in the past. It's like it could be bad or it could not be bad, right? It's just you'd have to use that in confluence with a lot of other things. And hey, if that 2-day money flow continues out, maybe the death cross on the daily does give us a bigger move down. But I don't know. Traditionally, it's like, does seem that, a lot of times you will actually rally into the cross. You dump right as it's occurring, and then you rally up into it. So, yeah, I actually dig into that, I believe, in that video. Like, even here, like, you dump before, and then you start rallying into the death cross, and then eventually you just flip it and get a golden cross and get the move up. So, yeah, not as, like, a black and white indicator, I think, as a lot of people like to look at it as. But, yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents, or my 3 cents on the golden cross or the death cross. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Short slowly getting liquidated on the XRP chart. So yeah, I'm going to take a look at some of the altcoins as well here, guys. I'm going to jump into Ethereum right now. If you want to see your favorite alt, we're only going to look at a couple of them tonight because we got to get into the giveaways. Shout out to FaZe. Welcome in. I said, what do you mean by open a ticket? I assume Tyler or somebody said open a ticket. They're talking about the Discord. Open a ticket in the Discord. Probably for your giveaway phase. I believe you want a giveaway. I was waiting for 90K to short. Shout out to Eugene Sky. That's okay, bro. That's okay. Don't chase. Don't chase. I know it gets tempting to chase, but don't worry. Don't worry. There's always going to be another move. We know it's in your short. Shout out to Andrew. Whew. Oh, God. Is there an under-the-table camera? What is my favorite time interval to trade? Do you remember answers to that poll the other day? Shout out to Giga, or shout out to Giga Longbottom, as we like to call him. My favorite time frame to trade. Listen, we actually talked about this the other day on the live stream. I don't really have a. I use all the time frames together, right? It's not like a. I think a lot of people, when they first learn how to trade, or they're first getting into their trading journey, they kind of like think that. And this is just not the way I trade. I'm sure there's a lot of people that trade out there like this, but it's not like when I sit down at the chart. Trading is a game of trapping, right? It's not a game of hunting. What a lot of people will do is like they'll sit down and like, all right, I'm going to get on the 5-minute chart. All right, this looks like a buy. I'm going to buy it. All right, came up. I'm going to take profit. Now I'm going to take a short, right? Like that's not how I trade. For me personally, I have the key levels set, right? I have all my key levels set ahead of time, and I wait for price to actually give me a valid setup, right? So this is typically where, on the Bitcoin chart, right? If I pull up my current range right now, the if this then that last night was like, hey guys, if we continue up here, I'm going to wait to come into my area where I know there's a high probability of a rejection. And then as we push into that level, I'm going to look for specific entry confirmations to take that trade and then enjoy the move to the downside, right? And then on the flip side, right, my preferred thing was to get a drop to the downside to have our short continue to pay out. And then I am only going to be looking for the long position as we hit our key level of support, which I am in. That was the trade that I just showed here, up about $800, right? So it's not like I see us bouncing and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to take the trade, right? I'm already looking at the charts and the area of interest that I'm watching to take a trade. I'm looking at this ahead of time, right? I'm waiting for price to come into my trap, and then I look for the confirmations to take the trade. So when it comes to like my favorite time frame to trade, I use them all together, right? Like when I look at the 4-hour, I know that's where I'm finding my key levels on the higher time frames, understanding that like, hey, this is the POC of the overall range. We have a daily level here. We have the CME gap, etc. And then what I do is I wait to come down to those levels, and then I'll go down to the lower time frames to find my entry, right? So I might be looking like, hey, if this 4-hour green dot prints, we may be able to get a bigger continuation up. But I'm not entering off that 4-hour green dot. What I'm doing is I'm coming down to the lower time frames to find my entry signal, which might be something like bullish divergences into the key level, or in this specific case, it was a swing failure pattern of this wick right here, right? So I come down to the lower time frames, I spotted this little 5-minute SFP, and then that's where I looked to take my position, right? So it's, I would say like, does that make the 5-minute my favorite time frame to trade? Well, not really. I'm not, I'm using the 5-minute to find my entry trigger, right? I'm not necessarily sitting on the 5-minute waiting for a green dot to print and take a long position. So I really use all the time frames together. My main time frames that I look at, if you really want to know, pretty much everything on this, it really depends on the context, right? Like, am I looking for swing trades? Am I looking for key levels to buy in on my spot bags? Am I looking for little scalp positions? But yeah, I would say like for the most part, daily, 8-hour, 4-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute, right? Those are like the ones that I most frequent. But really everything you see here, it really depends on the context and the situation. So it's really hard to say like, my favorite time frame to trade, because it's not like I sit down, go to the 15-minute, and I'm just trading the 15-minute. It has to do like confluence alongside all the time frames. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. So saucy. Shout out to Hugo's. Welcome in. We got JC in the chat. JC Crypto says the market cipher B116 strategy is just time frames correct: 30-minute, 8-hour, 15-minute, 4-hour, etc. Yes. Shout out to JC. Yes, 100%. Like the daily and the 90-minute is what we looked at last night for the potential continuation down to our next key level, which we're sitting at right now. You have the daily red dot print. So you're looking down to that 90-minute and you're saying to yourself, well, hey, if that 90-minute money flow crosses into the red, we're probably going to get the continuation down. And we got that to play out perfectly. And I know I said I'm going to make a tutorial about this, guys, but I actually already made a tutorial about this not too long ago. And shout out to Tony D. Tony D, if you're in the chat right now, can you go grab that link and drop it in the chat real quick, because you guys can check that out. I break it down. I pretty much explain it on the live streams very often. But if you go watch that tutorial video, it should help you out. Hope everything starts going up soon. Shout out to Irving. Yeah, me too, bro. But we got to keep an eye on that red money flow crossover on the 2-day. Let's see. Shout out to Diaz says, Frankie, what's a typical trading day look like for you? Shout out. I actually made videos on this. Actually, it's a pretty old video. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, right? Like I will sit down at the chart, and to be quite honest, like I just start with top-down analysis, right? I start on those higher time frames. I'll start on the monthly, right? I don't check the monthly every day because it takes a long time to print the candles, obviously. But you mark out any weekly candles, and I believe there's a video in the beginner series that kind of goes through what I do, like when I first sit down at my chart with nothing on the actual chart. How do I go from an empty chart to a fully marked out chart with key levels and areas that I'm looking for trades at? That video does live in the beginner series, so check that out. Go through it. I explain everything in massive detail. But yeah, I just kind of do top-down analysis, right? Where are my weekly levels at? Where are my daily levels at, right? Once I get my weekly levels on the chart, I mark out my daily levels, right? Where are my daily levels at? Monthly levels horizontally. Then I mark out all my POCs, right? My local range is at, well, hey, I got a little bit of a local range right here. Bada boom, right? And then I mark out all that stuff, and I start to build out where those key levels are, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I have a daily level sitting right here. Nice. Oh, okay, cool. I also have a weekly naked point of control sitting here. Oh, wait, I also have a C and having all the key levels in the chart. And then once you have all your key levels, right, let's assume, right, like yesterday, we were looking at it like this, right? And we're just like, well, hey, now I have all my key levels on the chart. I'm going to wait to come down here for a potential long, which I'm holding right now, up about 837. And if we come up here, I'll look for a short, right? And then I'm just sitting on my hands, waiting for price action to come to me. I'm waiting for the trades to come to me. Right? And so, yeah, and then you could find your local trades as well. Maybe go down to the 30-minute, right? And I'm like, well, hey, I got a little bit of a range here. Let me go ahead and pull that volume profile. Now I can look for shorts at the highs, longs at the lows, potentially. Look for some scalps, right? So that's kind of how I do it, right? That's, a quick day in the life. Maybe we'll make a video, day in the life. And I'll be like, wake up in the bed with the camera, like, oh, I was totally sleeping, guys. Let's go to the office. But, yeah, maybe we'll try... Maybe we'll try to make a video on that. Oh, no, I'm getting loading wheels in the chat. Oh, my God, F's in the chat. Or lagging? What the heck happened? What the heck happened here? All right, it says we're live. I got a good connection. What the heck? Yeah, give a quick refresh. We should be good, guys. Let's see. I'm the one to blame for the lag. Give Tyler Durden a raise. Shout out to you, bro. My internet is playing up now as well. Interesting. There's a massive outage. Oh, my God. Imagine the Black Swan right now. Massive blackout. Yikes. We're good now. Bing, bong. Okay. All right. Beautiful. It went weird for a bit. Interesting. Where's Tony D at? Tony D, are you in the chat? Tony D right there. Oh, he said, uh-oh. Tony D is going to be like, you need to get fiber. All right, we got it. Yeah, we do have to get fiber. I'm hardwired. I just, let's see. Coinbase is super slow. Hey, shout out to Zeus at Market Cypher, 40% off code BULLTRAP. Shout out to Zeus. There we go. If you're interested in checking out Market Cypher B, hey, 40% is better than our discount code. So go get that 40% off. That's nice. 40% is good. But yeah, can you make a video about the daily level, POC, etc. levels, please? Shout out to Ryan. We got all those videos living on the channel right now. Show you how to find the naked points of controls. I show you how to find the daily horizontals. Watch through all of our tutorials, guys. Start on the beginner series and then work your way through the tutorials playlist. We have all these videos living on the channel. Everything I talk about here has been explained in a video, and it's all 100% free. This YouTube channel is a free trading course, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Neil. Said, can you briefly explain how to trade the golden pocket? Beginner series, there is a literal video about how to trade golden pockets. Not only how to use them, but exactly how you can potentially, or how you could trade them by finding confluence with things like MPOCs or daily levels. So all that stuff lives on the channel. Okay, so let's continue on here. I'm going to take a quick look as Bitcoin tries to continue to push up here. Come on, Bitcoin. I'm not going to lie, guys. I still don't really feel great about this. Maybe we get the 15-minute money flow crossover with the 4-hour green dot, but I don't know. Doesn't look super, super nice. But I am long, so we'll see what happens. But let's take a quick look at Ethereum. I'm going to cover all these key levels. Bada boom. Right here. Okay. So on Ethereum, guys, I'm not going to lie. Oh, man. So let's take a look at this real quick, right? So let's take off that mini volume profile. Wait. Macro volume profile, right? So what did we look at yesterday on Ethereum, right? We looked at the key level. I'll actually pull this up as well. We had our, let me hide this, right? We had our value area high, our golden pocket, and our 786 Fibonacci retracement. That was the level that we needed to hold, right? As we came down there, we needed to hold this level to continue back up to higher prices, right? What happens? We absolutely just melted through all that, right? And this is why it's important to not just set limit orders. Someone asked me about this yesterday. Setting limit orders like this is very dangerous in my opinion, right? Because like the way I trade, I need to see an entry confirmation. So you could throw on some limit orders and hope that it plays out. But if you're not at the desk, right, you could enter into that position and then and you wouldn't be realizing that there was no entry trigger and you're just going to melt through it. So you have to make sure that you have your stop loss set. And yeah, at the end of the day, that's just not how I trade. I have to see a reason to enter the trade, right? Like for reasons literally like this, right? Because if you don't hold the golden pocket 786 value area high, what are you going to be expecting? I'll take this off the chart real quick, right? You also had the daily naked point of control down there. So you had reason to bounce there, right? That's a pretty nice confluent level. You have the daily naked point of control, value area high, golden pocket 786, but you just got fully melted through, right? And now we're back within our lower profile. This is exactly what we looked at. If we get stuck under that value area high, where are we going to be looking next? Well, get stuck under the value area high, you're very likely going to get gravitated towards that POC, which right now sits at about 1851. Now, if we get a little retracement, it would be nice, but you're still just kind of inside this profile, right? So if you wind up getting stuck under the value area high, even if you retrace back into it, right, it'd be nice to get the push up. However, still key resistance, right? You get stuck under here. POC is next. Once you lose that POC, guys, value area low is going to be that next stop. And to be like, if we look at this, right, fast move up. Hopefully you guys can see that, right? Fast move up from this value area low to the POC. Fast moves up oftentimes, right? Look at that lack of volume. Fall right, or you rip right through it. In that same manner, if we lose that POC, you might be able to get that drop down to the value area low in a very fast way as well. So you really want to hold above that POC. If you lose it, I think Ethereum has a chance to drop down into the 1600s or even the 1500s where we have our next key levels. Value area low, 1644, 786 at 1570. That's the next key level I'd be looking at on Ethereum, especially if you lose that POC. And if you want to look at this as a little bit of a zone, you could potentially mark this out with your 786 retracement level, right? So, maybe you want to hold a higher low there, but I don't know. You start looking at some of the higher time frames on Market Cypher. You got the 2-day red dot printing. You got your money flow coming into the red. This would make you anticipate a continuation over time, a lower high, and a continuation to the downside. So maybe we kind of bing bong around here, but if we don't start yoinking off, I got to stop saying that, guys. It just happens. Yeeting off, not yoinking, yeeting off to higher prices. If we don't do that and we get stuck inside this range, probably not a good sign, right? Looking for those much lower levels if that were to be the case. But until then, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this is, definitely like more bearish looking. So we'll see. Like this is your last line of defense. Lose that 786. Probably looking much lower. So let's see. Shout out to Andrew who said ETH by 1100 if you didn't sell above 3K. Bummer. Shout out to Andrew. That is for sure facts. Shout out to Satoshi. God, I got to stop saying that word. But yeah, as I always say, shout out to JR said, say bear market, I dare you. No, I'll let you guys know. When I'm really concerned about a bear market, I will let you guys know. But right now, this is, right now, there's not enough on the charts for me to say it's a bear market, right? Shout out to Dave Digital said, are you even family if you don't yoink off together? Hey, crypto family will yoink off to higher prices altogether. But anyway, let's see. I'm personally hoping we drop all crypto 10 to 20% so I can buy more of my main bags. Yeah, shout out to Niels. I think I'm kind of in that same bag, to be honest. Yeah, hashtag not a cult. Shout out to Kate Diggity. We might be a mafia, but we are not a cult. Hashtag not a cult. We might light candles and do weird rituals sometimes, but we're definitely not a cult. Yeah, shout out to G-Off says, crypto is more mainstream than ever when it rips. Yeah, shout out to G-Off. 100%, bro. Can we print if it's a bear market? Shout out to Ryan. If you're talking about printing money, absolutely. I talk about this all the time. If you think it's the bear market, which, again, I don't fall in that camp just yet. I could be wrong, guys. 110 might be the top. That's not the camp that I personally fall in. I know a lot of people think we have a crystal ball. We don't. Don't check on that. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I could be wrong, right? Maybe this is the top and we go into a massive bear market. We drop 70 to 75% into a traditional 4-year cycle bear market. I don't think that's the case, but that also does not mean that I don't think that we could see more pain. I do think we could see more pain. I don't think it necessarily means it's the bear market. But again, you can't make decisions off of what some crazy guy on YouTube says. You got to make your own decisions. But for me personally, that's how I'm handling it. At the end of the day, right, the bear markets are just another bull market for me. Right? Or the CandleMafia, right? As we trade them, right? We short this thing all the way down, just like we long it all the way up, right? Your spot bags make money like this, but we are not a slave to making money only when price goes up. We can not only make money when price goes up, longing and on our spot bags, but we can make money on the dumps and even in the sideways price action. We get long, short, long, short, long, short, right? And we do, even if it's not the massive moves, right? This little move right here, right? This little push up that we're getting right now on Bitcoin. Quick money, right? Little scalp long from the bottom, up $993, right? So, like, this is what we do. This is like my day job, right? This is my active income is trading, right? And then I will normally, not always, right? But I normally, when I buy more spot bags, right, I could roll that profit into my spot bags after the bear market comes. So if we do wind up going down 75%, we can hold these shorts, right? Of course, I closed my whole short here by accident, but more often than not on the big drops, right? We're making money on the way down just like we do on the way up. Like when I found out that you could short and long, right? Like years ago when I figured out like, oh my God, you can make money when price goes down too. That's when I got obsessed with trying to figure out how to read charts, right? I was like, if all I have to do is try to figure out, or I thought it was this easy, figure out when I think it's going up or down and I can make money in either direction. Like all I need are these candles to move up and down. All we need is the volatility. We don't need to say, oh my God, this is the bottom, long it forever, right? If we think if it's the bottom for a little while, we can just make some quick money, right? And so you don't have to always call the bottom or the top, right? In the bull market, everybody just wants to try to buy the bottom and sell the top, and it's a really stressful situation a lot of the time, right? So my long-term spot bags, I just dollar cost average in over time. But when it comes to ETH, those are the next key levels that I'm looking at. That 2-day definitely does not look super great. So if we lose that 786, 1828. We lose 1830. I'll call it 1830. We lose that level, guys. Might be in for a bigger drop on Ethereum. If we hold it, maybe we can come out of it. But that's kind of the levels that I'll be watching, right? Key level to the upside remains exactly the same, right? We rejected that value area low, which is our key level, because not only is it key resistance until proven otherwise, but if we were to flip it, it could open the door for a bigger move up. And that level remains exactly the same. So yeah, we're just now back in our lower range. Hopefully we don't have to get stuck in here. But again, with our higher time frame money flow, 3-day money flow in the red, coming out pretty aggressively, not looking good. Not looking good. So yeah, that's what I would look for. Doesn't mean that we're going to zero, right? And again, I don't want to cause any fear here, right? We could bounce off that 786 for all I know, right? But if the way money flow looks, I'd be very cautious. All right, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Ozgun said there might be a 4-hour, 15-minute strategy approaching. Yes. That is our best bet, right? That's our best bet. That 15-minute money flow crossover with our 4-hour green dot is our best bet to continue back up here to some of our local levels of resistance that I covered in the beginning of the stream. Yo, shout out to Gennaro said, Frankie, shout out to you. I caught my own short from 87,500. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Like I said, holding that short or was holding that short from all the way up here. But again, right, that's a perfect example, right? Like yesterday, a lot of people don't want to hear prices going down, right? But for the CandleMafia, it doesn't matter, right? We say prices going down, we made a few $1,000s on that drop, right? So that's what I love. So if you love crypto, right? If you love making money in crypto, don't limit yourself to just the bull markets, right? Learn how to trade. Learn how to make money when price goes down. It's like one of the biggest opportunities. I like shorting more than I like longing, to be honest. The dumps are just, I don't know. The dumps are just dumpy, right? The money comes quick on a short. And I always say it's because gravity's on your side. Obviously not true, but anyway. Yeah, weekly looking bullish like crazy. Shout out to Peter. The weekly, I'd say the green dot is really all we have. Money flow, pretty much trending to the downside, though. But this could change, right? If we get that green dot and it's a massive pump, maybe we get that weekly money flow to come back up. But yeah, we do have the VWAP coming up. And this was part of the reason, right? These higher time frame green dots is what we use to anticipate this retracement to the upside. When everyone thinks it's the bear market, we're like, hey, guys, green dot's printing. We might be able to continue a retracement. And that weekly green dot was following very nicely. We had the 6-day green dot that was printing. Now it's not. So we get that 6-day weekly green dot printing. Maybe we could dodge the bullet on the 2-day. But if that 2-day red dot prints first, that gives us an opportunity to kind of have the 6-day green dot and weekly green dot stepped on. And in that case, if that 2-day dumps us over the weekend, this weekly VWAP is probably going to get rejected at the 0 line. But if it prints, I would say that retracement might be more likely to come a little bit higher. So yeah. But yeah, we took a look at Bitcoin. We took a look at Ethereum. Let's go ahead and move on to some of the other altcoins. I'm going to take a look at quick look at Solana. And here we are. Actually, there we are, right? So Solana, right, got a hold above its value area low, right? At that point, the highest probability area for price to go next is going to be the POC. We got to push into the POC, got the little rejection, and now our goal here, at least for the continuation up, if you want Solana to continue up here, right, you want to hold above your golden pocket value area low confluence here. Excuse me. Yeah, you don't have a daily. All those dailies are tapped. So, yeah, you would hope, like, as long as you can hold above this daily, get a move back up into the POC, flip the POC to go back up to the high. But at the end of the day, daily red dot printing, same signal that we had on Bitcoin, right? Money flow crosses over into the red on the 90-minute, and that is indeed what started the bigger drop to the downside. You have the anchored VWAP from the bottom here, now potentially looking to flip to support. So if you were looking for this to continue up, the first order of business would be to flip that anchored VWAP at 130-110 to support in order to potentially come up back up towards your POC. But until then, right, like this is your key level of support, coming down to about, between the value area low 126.60 down to the golden pocket 124.32, and then once you lose that golden pocket, you can look to come to the 786 at 119, and then once you lose that, guys, the next key zone, right? If you lose this value area, bearishly retest and dump, that value area high at 107 is going to be the next key level of support. Get back down below this. POC is next. Lose the POC. Could be looking for a much bigger move down to the 80s. Now, again, I'm not saying Solana's going to the 80s right now, but I'm just saying, if we lose this range, that is going to be the next key level to look at. 107.32, 46, 107.46 at that value area high. Get stuck in there. POC is next. Then hopefully you could get a bounce out of there. If not, it might be more downside ahead. Like that's just what the charts are saying, guys. I don't want Bitcoin to go down. I mean, I did yesterday because we were in the short position. But, when we see those signs on the chart, oftentimes they do not lie and they give you the drop. So just bringing up what's on the chart. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm as much of a Bitcoin bull as anybody else. Let's see. Bitcoin, Shay, shout out to you, bro. Said, yo, pump it. Pump this dang thing. Pump it. Shout out to Freddie. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. JP Captain Morgan says, up, down. Yep, up, down for sure. For sure. Shout out to Crypto Billy in the chat. Welcome in, bro. Good to see you, Crypto Billy. Charts don't lie. Yes, I would argue they lie sometimes, but more often than not, you're better off listening to the charts than what you feel, right, or what you want. Let's see. So yeah, let's take a look at XRP and then Rob the Crypto Snob, I think, right? Yeah, there's Rob. Yeah, let's do like 2 requests because we do have to get to the giveaways today. So let's do like 2 altcoin requests. Go ahead and drop those altcoins in the chat. Far Art Channel, or is that Fart Channel? Fart Art Channel. Shout out to you, bro. Said shout out Rich Man. Are you asking me to shout out the Rich Man, or are you shouting me out as Rich Man? Trump is the chart, and he lies. Shout out to Eugene. All right, so let's continue on here. I'll take a quick look at XRP or how would you say that? Anyway, what were we looking at on XRP yesterday, guys? We give the levels for free. Guys. We give the levels for free. We look for a continuation through our volume profile. You can't make it up. Reject the value area high. The next likely place for price to go is the POC. Lose the POC, which we were doing yesterday, you expect to revisit the value area low, right? And this is where I even said yesterday, it's like, could you long here? I mean, yeah, if you were gambling, right? But like, I could long here personally, right? I'm not saying there was a setup, right? But like, if I were looking for a long here, I would know personally, right, as an experienced trader, that I wouldn't be looking at this as a massive move. Why? I mean, we're not really at key support, right? We're in the middle of a range. The middle of the range is very low probability trading. The high probability shorts are at the value area high, where price is overvalued. You look to get stuck in the range, reject off the high, go to the POC, lose the POC, go to the low. Deviate below the low. This is a cheap asset. You look for your longs, reclaim value area low. You have about an 80% chance of going to the POC and eventually filling the range in full to the value area high. So yesterday we look at this and we say, well, hey, we rejected the value area high golden pocket. You go to the POC, you lose the POC. I don't want a long here. There's no setup here for me. You look for the bigger drop down to the value area low / golden pocket confluence. Not only is this the value area low, but you have a little confluence down here, right? And technically, it's got to move up a little bit, right? So yeah, I was going to say we front ran it, but we did technically hit it. Golden pocket, value area low confluence, right? Probably have some other key levels in here too, if I had to guess. Not really. You don't have any daily levels. Interesting. Let me check out the naked points of controls down here. Yeah, so you have a daily MPOC sitting down here. So if you do continue down, you do have a little bit of confluence a little lower here. So you could even drag this long zone a little deeper. Let's take a look at the weekly MPOCs. Yeah, we just hit a weekly MPOC. So you actually did have confluence right here. This is, I'm going to mark this out actually. Because you have it's tapped now, right? But we'll just label it weekly naked point of control, and then we'll just go ahead and add a little T for tapped. Whoops. Tapped weekly naked point of control. So if you could hold that, you might be able to get a little retracement from the value area low. But again, the positions are not to be had in the middle of the range. You want to wait for the high probability trades at your key levels of support. Again, waiting for price to come into your trap and then looking for the reversal, right? Now, if we take a look at Market Cipher B real quick, I will say, let's take a look at the money flow, take a look at the daily, right? So a little bit of a different situation than Bitcoin. You don't have a fresh red dot on the daily, but you have a red dot confirmed, but it's not like printing right now. On Bitcoin, it's a fresh red dot. This one's been confirmed for a couple days now. 2-day red dot is printing, though, with money flow coming out. That's actually, I mean, at this point, right, if you're looking for a massive move up, right? And this is just based off the charts. I'm not saying you can't fake this out and just send this to all-time highs, right? Maybe you could, right? But based off the chart here, money flow coming to the downside, you literally want to see the opposite for this for a big move up. You literally want to invert this, and you want to see a big red wave crossing into the green. That would be indicative of a massive move up. This is the opposite. This will be more indicative of a continuation of the downtrend, right? When the daily money flow crosses over into the red, you expect a continuation down, which you did get. You got the money flow crossover into the red right here. You continue down, and you kind of wiggle sideways / chop to the downside, right? On Bitcoin, you look at the 2-day money flow crossover, right? This would indicate more downside ahead, and you wind up continuing to dump, right? And if we put a lower high in, this could indicate a much bigger dump. So I would be careful with that on XRP, right? 2-day money flow kind of looks like trash. Is it a blood diamond? God, it is. Unbelievable. Oh, man. 2-day blood diamond, not the best sign, right? This still has, keep in mind, this still has 1 day to confirm, right? So if you get a bigger bounce, this might disappear, which would be nice. But that 2-day red dot and with the money flow coming out and the 2-day blood diamond, I would say is not the best sign. Again, I'm not saying it's going to dump into a bear market, but I'll tell you this. If we lose this 786 at $2.03, almost $2.04, next big level of support is sitting down here at this golden pocket at $1.50, right? And if we pull up the VPVR just to kind of visualize this, big old volume gap here as well, right? I'll try to, big old volume gap, right? So, you can look at this and say, hey, lose that 786. That's where the volume starts to fall off. Where's your next high volume node? Sitting all the way down here on that golden pocket. So lose that 786, fall through the low volume gap, right? Fast move up, could be a fast move down. 2-day blood diamond with money flow coming out would point towards that being the case. And that next key level of support would be $1.50 down to the value area high at about $1.34. All right. So, you're not there yet, right? You still have to break down below that 786, right? Where you could still have a chance of a bounce back into your range, but I'd be very careful there with the way money flow looks on the 2-day. 3-day, red dot also printing, no blood diamond, thank God. Money flow kind of flat, but I would just be aware of that. I'll even mark this out on the chart, right? If we do lose this, probably lose this wick low, honestly. But really, once you lose that 786, for the most part, you have little tiny spikes in volume, right? You got this little one here at about $1.90. That's kind of what you held as support right here. But, or you probably created that high volume node on that wick. But when you break into this box, guys, with that low volume, it's like, oh, fall through the gap. Whoa, right? If you start coming down in there, get accepted. You could fill that gap down to the golden pocket. So, yeah, that's what I would look for. If you lose the 786, be careful of that low volume gap down below. King Enzo, what is going on, bro? Blood diamonds in the chat, baby. Oh my God. Let's see. A bit oversold. Yeah, I'm not saying that this has to be an instant nuke to the downside. Yeah, I mean, I would say on the lower time frames, like, you are oversold for sure. You have the green dot printing. You're also coming down to key support, right? So it's all about context, right? Just because you have a 2-day red dot with a money flow coming out in the 2-day blood diamond doesn't mean instant dump, right? 2-day takes time to play out. 4 hours, for sure, oversold. You definitely have a double green dot there, and you've hit support, right? So retracements are, to be expected, right? In which case, if you could reclaim this tapped weekly naked point of control sitting at 219, I would potentially... Yeah, I would look at this as a key zone to get above if you want to see a significant retracement. Oh, come on, XRP, push it, baby, push it. But yeah, I would look at this as kind of your first zone to get above. Once you get above this, I would probably be looking for the bigger Fibonacci retracement, right, sitting up here. And again, you could expect potentially a full rotation of that range, but it all has to do with that 2-day blood diamond confirms, right? Just that money flow crossing into the red on the 2-day would make me anticipate lackluster retracements to the upside for lower highs and continuations down, right? Potentially. So it's not just going to go down in a straight line. Context is king, right? So low time frames look like they want to retrace. That's fine. But the higher time frames might be looking for just a continuation down, right? And this money flow, let's just say hypothetically, if this money flow continues out into a big red wave, you might be in for some more pain, right? If Bitcoin's going to go to 70 to 72K, like what we looked at on the 2-day money flow, if it's going to go down to 70 to 72K, XRP coming back down here is definitely not out of the cards. Hopefully not the case. Hopefully we can just hold these key levels that we just looked at and fake out money flow on the 2-day. But if you want a big move up, you are 100% impossible to get away from it. You are expecting this money flow to just invalidate and fake you out, which could be the case. But you're trading against the charts at that point, right? Which I just personally don't do. Charts won't be right 100% of the time, but you're going to be right more than you're wrong if you go by the charts, in my own personal opinion. That's why we're right more than we're wrong on this channel. It's because I don't include my emotional opinion, really. And if I do mention it, even if I think it's the less likely case, right? It's like, I hope price comes down here, but I'm not just going to come and be like, Bitcoin's going to dump because that's what I want, right? It's because on the charts we had the 90-minute money flow crossover with the daily red dot. We know that's the higher probability move, and we wind up getting it, right? And I kind of bet against myself there because I'm like, I want this to happen, so it might not happen, right? Probably won't happen. Sometimes the market likes to counter trade what you want to happen, but obviously we had a setup in either direction, and the one that I wanted wound up playing out and made a bunch of money on that short, and now we're making a bunch of money on the little scalp long from the bottom. Come on, baby. That was a risky entry too, but now we're in. We're in it to win it there. Let's see. Shout out to Big Huggies said, that's why you're my favorite, Frankie. Slinging the sauce and keeping it 100. Yeah, 100%, guys. Like, I'm not going to come up here and be like, it's going to $1 million, guys, because I want it to pump. Although I'd probably be able to make clickier titles and thumbnails like that. But, that's my goal is to have you guys make some money, right? Yeah, you guys are my main focus. My audience, the Mafia, is my main focus, not just getting random views on YouTube, right? So yeah, right? And I guess at the end of the day, I don't know. I guess it might not matter. But it's like, I don't know. If I just was bullish all the time, it'd probably be really good for views. But it's like then every time it dumps, people are going to be like, what the heck? I thought you said it was going up, right? It's like, I don't really understand how that works. In Frankie we trust. Shout out to eGenerate. Let's go, baby. Okay, so let's continue on here. As Bitcoin pushes up. Oh, man. I'm not going to lie, guys. I fully expected to get stopped out of that. Now I have some room to take some profit and move my stop loss to break even. Let's see. I enjoy your live. Shout out to Ivan. I appreciate you, bro. I enjoy having you in here, man. I enjoy having you in here. Yo, Frankie Red Candles, where are you from? I'm from New York, baby. I'm from New York. Long Island, New York. Okay, so let's continue on here. Shout out to bada boom, bada bing. Rob the Crypto Snob. Let me see here. I'm sure he dropped that alt list 100 times as I was talking. He's probably like, Frankie, look at... Oh, Crypto Billy! Shout out to Crypto Billy. Thank you for the super chat. Said, I love you. Do you love me? Yes or no? Shout out to Crypto Billy. I love you to the death of me. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Show Crypto Billy some love in the chat, baby. Crypto Billy, how could you even ask me that question? Do I love you? Come on, bro. Crypto Billy is arguably the oest of all G's of the CandleMafia. The father of the CandleMafia, some would say. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Let's go. I can't believe you didn't ask me that question. I'll even heart the super chat. Let's see. And now as I scroll up to find the alt list from Rob, he's probably putting it in chat fresh. Yo, shout out to Brian. Varney said, blood diamonds in your chat. That's my macro swing short indicator. Are you going to call it again? Remember that blood diamond bear market call you made last cycle? I do. I remember it very, very clearly. However, that was a weekly... that was a weekly blood diamond. This is shout out to Brian Varney. I 100% remember this. Weekly blood diamond. And there was a lot more that went into that than just the weekly blood diamond, but this was the first weekly blood diamond that we had ever seen on the chart. This is the Bybit chart, so we don't have a lot of history. But this is the first blood diamond we've ever seen on the Bitcoin chart on the weekly, and that is a massive bearish signal. And it wasn't just that. It was also the weekly money flow crossover, the fact that we had massive high time frame bearish divergences confirmed. We had a lot of things that we were looking at, right? There was a lot going on here, right? We had seen massive euphoria, not even once, but like twice on this move. And then like once we started wiggling down here, that money flow coming out, and this is similar to what I would look at this cycle to potentially predict the bear market. On the retracements to the upside, what does your weekly money flow look like, right? If it's crossing over into the red, this is typically that one signal that calls the bear market, right? And when you have a blood diamond on a bearish retracement of a Fibonacci golden pocket 786 retracement level, which was happening here, very high probabilities that you're at least going to get a big dump, and it could be the start of the bear market. So shout out to Brian Varney. He's been here for a while too, if you remember that, bro. I mean, I know you've been here for a while, but you've been here for a long time. That was the first major call that I made on my channel, and people hated me, guys. Take this for what it's worth. I got roasted in the chat for saying that this was potentially the start of the bear market. Roasted so bad that some people DM'd me on Discord and apologized for it because I saved them a bunch of money. Not that you should ever just listen to somebody. I could have been wrong here, guys. I've been right. I've been wrong. I will be right a lot again, and I will be wrong sometimes again, right? But this, for all I know, right, like at the end of the day, the TA might have faked us out on the weekly and given us a big move up to 100K. But just keep in mind, also, everybody here was saying that 30K was the low and 100K was incoming, which is just kind of like everyone waiting for 100K. We already hit 69K. Everyone's just going to keep calling for higher prices, and we just look at the charts. This is why, you know, every influencer and their grandma was calling for 100K here. I remember so vividly. 30K is the bottom, high or low, we're going up. All I could see was bear divs, right? Not only that, one of the big signs here was the divergence between our social sentiment, right? We had a massive peak in Bitcoin search term analytics. And on this high, we put in a all-time high. We put a numerical all-time high in, but those search term analytics made a lower high, right? So you had a bearish divergence on the charts. You had a bearish divergence on the social indicators. Money flow coming out on the weekly, which again was one of the very, very huge. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the alt list. I finally got it here. It's like Rob trying to give me the alt list. It's like, no, okay, hang on. All right, here, no, okay, never mind. Got it. I got it, Rob. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. But yeah, let me go ahead and replace that pinned message. But yeah. So, you know, if we see a weekly blood diamond, I would be very worried. But you could see, like, now we've gotten another weekly blood diamond. It ended up giving us a much bigger move down. But again, like this, I didn't make a bear market call on this weekly blood diamond just because it was weekly blood diamond. We had weekly money flow in the green. A lot of reasons to, like, we weren't at the same point in the cycle, even from a timing perspective. This was very close, in my opinion, to being the top, right? Like, even from a cycle perspective, it's like, we've had enough time here for a full bull market to play out, probably going to a bear market, right? Now, if we came up like this, retraced into some macro golden pockets, weekly blood diamond, weekly money flow comes out, might be a very similar situation, right? Maybe that calls the bear market. But that's why I say all eyes on the higher time frames if we get bigger retracements to the upside. So there you go. Oh, shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Said, tonight is Crypto Billy's alt list. Just passing the message. Shout out to, did Crypto Billy drop the alt list? I'm usually looking for Rob. I probably just scrolled past Billy's list just because I was hunting for Rob. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Thinkless. Said, price of Market Cipher probably going to go up. Shout out to Thinkless. Maybe. Apparently they have a... I forget it was bull something, was the discount code. Apparently they have a sale on their site for 40% off. If they don't, we have a 20% off code. MC Frank 20 is that code if you're interested. But obviously, if they have a 40% off code, go use theirs, right? I only have 20%. So if they're giving 40, definitely use that. Bull Trap is apparently that code. So try Bull Trap. If not, you could come use ours for 20% off. So yeah, let's continue on. We took a look at ETH. We took a look at Solana. We took a look at XRP. Let's jump into the alt list. Sui. Let's take a look. So Sui, who was it? Are you in the chat right now? Let me know. Somebody last night said that they were in a Sui short, and I was thinking about you, bro, because I had the chart up still from the live stream when I came back down to sat at the desk. I think it was like, what was yesterday? The 27th? Yeah, so I think it was like right up here. No, 10 p.m. Yeah, it was like right up here. I think he was short. He's like, this is a nail biter. And I sat back down at the chart, and I was like, oh, man, he got stopped out. Hopefully stopped out, not liquidated. But I did feel for you, bro. I sat down at the chart, and I was like, oh, man, that stinks. But let's take a look at what we got going on here. So this is not the Sui chart that I want. This is the Sui chart that I want. So, yeah, let me go ahead and hide Market Cipher A just to clean up the chart just a bit. Yo, shout out to Crypto Max. He said, where's Market Cipher Light? That'd be fire if they did that. They would only be able to, they could only show you like half the money flow though or something. Sniped a Sui long at 248. Shout out to Julius Caesar, or Alexander, as we like to call him. But yeah, shout out to Crypto Pollo. Said more salts. Oh, yo, shout out to Crypto Pollo. I think I missed your super chat. I saw it out of the corner of my eye as I said alt. And it was him. I knew it. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Thank you for the super chat, bro. You mean salt coins. Yeah, we're looking at the salt coins because they are extra salty. And shout out to Crypto Pollo, fellow farm animal. Shout out to all the farm animals out there. And did I miss anything else? Crypto Billies, we got you. TDK, Golden Cross on the daily. Okay, cool. We're good on the super chats. Let's continue on. Sui, ugly, super ugly, hyper, extra, super ugly weekly candle right now. No. What was that? 6-day? 6-day candle looks like trash. This is gross. That is, that is not a great looking candle. You got the green dot on the 6-day, which is nice. Right now, though, this candle does not look good. You still have 3 days to potentially invalidate this bearish hammer. But yeah, right now, that does not look like a very bullish candle. But let's take a look at these key levels. Obviously, we got that push up into our previous volume profile. We can get rid of that blue box. Push up into the value area low, hit that POC, got the rejection for the big drop down. Was this... Yeah, you didn't get the 90-minute money flow crossover, but your key level of support is still sitting right here. Actually, we looked at this on the premium. That's why I have these levels. Golden pocket, weekly naked point of control, value area high. This is sitting between 246 and 242. POC 786 also sitting right here at 236. So come on down here. That's your first key level. Something confluence, that weekly naked point of control value area high is nice on top of that golden pocket. Once you lose that golden pocket, 2 reasons to expect 236. Number one, if you lose the golden pocket, you're going to be anticipating to go to the 786 next. And just like you lose the value area high, you expect the POC next. These levels are confluent, right? So I'd say as soon as you lose this blue box, right, lose the weekly naked point of control, very high likelihood that you're coming down to that POC. Do I love that as a support level? Personally, I don't like longing in the middle of the range, just like we looked at on XRP yesterday, and now we're sitting at the value area low on XRP. If we come on down here, sure, you could get bounces, but you have to be careful because if you get a bounce off that 786, you could get rejections on that value area high to eventually fill the range in full. So I would prefer to come down here. You have a couple different levels down here. You have the golden pocket, bigger golden pocket retracement value area low, and a previous week value area low as well. So those are the key levels, right? Between key support sitting at 223 to 229. Above that, your POC 786 sitting at about 236. And then above that, your first level is sitting here, weekly naked point of control, value area high, golden pocket between 246 and 242. Simply put, that's the next key level. To the upside, you have your upper value area. 271 is your value area low. Once you get above that, POC is very likely. You hit it twice, got the rejection. But once you get above that POC, you can expect the full fill of the range. Not guaranteed, obviously, but those are the key levels, right? I wouldn't really be interested in like scalp longs until we push into this zone, right? And even then, I'd really rather take longs below the value area, right? Just the higher probability area. Very similar to what we looked at on XRP. All right, let's take a look at our next. Altcoin. Bull Trap, I think, is the code for Market Cipher for 40% off. Let's see. What do we got? That's Sui, XRP. Let's take a look at Link. We took a look at XRP already. If you're just tuning in, you want to see the XRP, TA, just go ahead and scrub back till you see XRP. We covered that all in full. So yeah, Chainlink, I mean, we got the push, right? I don't remember the exact last time. I could tell you by looking at the fib that we were at least looking at it since we made this low, right? What do you look for? If you get those high time frame green dots, which we obviously got on Bitcoin, as well as things like Chainlink, you can see here, green dot printing on your 3-day. Right here, you start to get the push to the upside. You deviate below your volume profile. Deviation, reclaim the value area low. Next likely place for price to go is the POC of the range. Once you get above the POC, you can look to start your journey back up to the full fill of the range to the value area high. But we knew that we had these key local levels of resistance. Number one, golden pocket. And why do we look at these local levels? Why wouldn't I just look at this as a potential continuation through the range? Well, simply put here, guys, we come up to some of these higher time frames, 2-day money flow crossing into the red. We have to be careful of lower highs and lower lows to come in. Money flow indicates the overall trend. Money flow crosses into the red. You can anticipate lower highs and lower lows. Is that definitely going to happen? Hard to say, at least as of right now, but the 2-day is calling for it, right? So you have to keep in mind that where are you going to likely put in a lower high? Golden pocket, 786 retracement. What happens? You push into your golden pocket, and that is where we're getting our rejection from. Technically, we still have an opportunity to hold this POC, break into the 786, and go to the value area high. But with this money flow, definitely a danger zone for that to be a lower high to put in a lower low. And if we're going to come and put a lower low in, key level of support, simply put, 1182 at the value area high of our previous value area below. And then let me just see this. This is more for my personal. Let me just pull up some of these previous volume profiles, pull up the current chat here, pop open some just clean, regular, non-Aztecian cactus moss water. Shout out to Crypto Maxi, said Frankie is holding 5 million in ADA. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. I'll be honest. We give away most of our ADA. I'm just kidding. We buy it before we send it to you guys. But yeah, Fire Stream. Shout out to Donnie T. Appreciate you for being here, man. Thank you for the kind words. Let's see. Higher high. Cuddy said, Cuddy Forever says higher high. So yeah, your hope for the higher high would be to get above that POC, right? If you could hold above that POC, which by the way, yeah, it's hard, right? Like hopefully, as long as that 2-day red dot doesn't print and drag you down, your hope here would be to hold that POC and then look for the higher high into your value area high, right? And could you front run? Yeah. I mean, you're definitely a little oversold here. But if you did wind up getting a push up into that higher high, potential bear divs on the 4-hour, something like that, maybe. So yeah, but your hope. You're getting below that POC. You got to reclaim this in a big way. Because if you get stuck underneath, mark my words, value area low, is going to be next. Daily horizontal down there as well, sitting between 1310 and 1276. Yeah. So there we go. That's what I'd be looking at on Chainlink. Yeah, I mean, daily red dot, 90-minute money flow crossover into the red. 90-minute money flow crossover starts the bigger dump. So you got to reclaim that POC. And honestly, you're still not even really out of the woods once you do that, right? Because if you get above the POC, 786 could also be a big level to look at for a rejection. Once you get above the 786, very high likelihood of coming to that value area high. But that 786 would give you the higher high anyway, if that's what you were talking about. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here. Red dots everywhere. Shout out to Resident Crypto. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. That 2-day red dot is really what's got me a little bit worried. Let me take a sip of this non-Aztecian cactus moss water real quick, and then we'll jump into some giveaways. We'll jump into give away some free crypto here. At Tony D, are we ready? Are we ready for giveaways? Let me know. Save us, Frankie. Shout out to Dadu. Dadu Crypto. I'm going to try here. Let's see. Yeah, oh, man, Bitcoin. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Rejecting that CME gap. Rejecting the CME gap. To be honest, I made my money this week on that short. Tony D is here. All right, so what are we doing, Tony? If you want to text me or you can just drop it in chat, I'll keep an eye on it. 10 bags of ADA. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Tyler Durden. He might have just answered my question there. One for the road. Let's go. Shout out to Raw, Ramp, and River. Shout out to, I'm going to call you Raw. Shout out to Raw. All right, 10 bags of ADA. Tony D, I'm going to let you guide it. Nightbot 10 winners. Okay, so if you're in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. If you're in chat, if you're an active chatter, you are entered into the giveaway. You just got to be here. So let's see. Let's see if we can roll it. Frankie, save me. I'm about to get liquidated. Codon, no. Don't get liquidated, bro. Don't get liquidated. You can't get liquidated. If you get liquidated, shout out to Codon. Just understand, you can avoid this if you set your stop losses ahead of time. I obviously always recommend that, but hopefully if you get liquidated, it's not for too much money, bro. Hopefully you can stomach the loss. Slowing chat down. We'll start drawing in 1 minute, and we'll let what do you call it? Maybe we'll play some music here. Let me see if I can play some music. Let me know. This might blow everybody's eardrums out. Oh, no! That blew my eardrums out. Let me actually go ahead and lower the desktop audio. Start really low, and then I'll bring it up slightly. Let me lower my speakers, too. Give some ADA. Give me some ADA. Shout out to Ozgun. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Stop loss in profit on the long. Let's go. Shout out to Cryptic Crabman. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Can we fart? Dave Digital, feel free to let whatever you want go. If it happens to be a fart, we're here for it. Can we also just say the Bitcoin jack-o'-lantern emoji is the goated emoji of all? That is just fire. I don't even know how Tony D made that, but it is absolutely lit. All right, let's see. Should we? Someone said Frankie Fist Pump. I can't see the names; they're going too fast. But somebody said Frankie Fist Pump. Let's go. All right, here we go. Smash that like button, baby. Smash that like button. Am I special? K Diggity, you are special. You're Phoebe's significant other. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see. Maybe we can start some tunes here. Where's that fire song? I think this might be it. Yo, is this it? All right. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but as Nightbot is making it rain, free crypto. Can you guys hear that? Let me know. Louder, lower, let me know. Get Mrs. Candles in here. Let's see. How is this long going to play out? Let's see. I'll pull up the long. We'll let the long sit here for a minute. We'll zoom in a bit. Zoom out a bit. There we go. Come on, baby. Forget the fist pump. We got to pump up Mrs. Candles. Hang on, guys. I got to take her shirt off real quick so I can get to the to the blowhole. Can we hear the music? Oh God, she's super deflated, guys. This is that's brutal. That's brutal. All right, well, I was the first winner. Shout out to Jay Violet. Shout out to everybody who just won a giveaway. Who do we got? We got Jay Violet, Ronaldo. We got the Osborns, Edward O'Reilly, Nexiv, Crypto Paisan, or as I like to say, Crypto Paisan. Hopefully you guys can still hear me over the music. Valerie Valenzuela, Naishina, and Honcho and Tango. Shout out to you guys. You got some free crypto. Should we just vibe here for a little bit more? Blowhole. Shout out to Zen. Yo, shout out to Crypto Poil. Said I got to get you a trading mix. Let's go. Win number 6 for me. Shout out to Jay Violet. Bro, this song is fire. Pump it! Rigged. Shout out to Newbie Crypto. More sauce. Shout out to Michael S. I'm just going to let this song end, guys. I tried to blow up Mrs. Candles. It didn't work. But the long is pumping. The long is pumping, guys. Come on. All right. There we go, baby. There we go. Pump it. Frankie, do I still get my crypto from the bottle cap contest the other night? Yeah, shout out to eGenerate. Did you win? Yeah, if you won, it'll all be given out at the same time. So yeah, we usually do the giveaways in no volume. No, you guys should be able to hear me. Testing. Can you guys hear me? But yeah, eGenerate, as long as you won, because I know we had 2 winners, or by accident, we accidentally messed it up. So we're just going to honor both those winners. And I think you were one of them. If you were, you're going to get your giveaway. Don't worry. Let's see. There was 2 of us. Yeah, okay, so eGenerate. As long as you were the second person you actually won, 100%, you're going to get it. That's one of the ones, obviously, with the giveaways that we do, the Cardano, like the ones that we just did, typically we give about a week. We give 7 days from the time of drawing to claim your prize, but you won it in real time. So you got it, baby. Okay, yes, we could hear you. What's the leverage on your trade, Frankie? Shout out to X. What is this one? This one is a little bit... Oh, no. Hang on. Oh, no. We're lagging. Bada boom. This is on 14X. 14X. I got almost 11,000 of margin on 14X. It's a $150,000 position. But there we go. Other than that, guys, we'll see what happens. I'll be honest. I'm kind of psyched that this long at least played out this much because do we have the 4-hour green dot yet? Come on, 4-hour. Let's go. We're not as inverted as we were earlier. Remember on the VWAP, we're not on my face cam, are we? No, we're on the screen. Okay. This VWAP was a little bit inverted. It's kind of straightened out a little bit. We really want this thing to cross over into the green. But I'm not going to lie, guys. We are rejecting that CME gap. So I would be careful. Like I said, I don't have a, yeah, there's that CME gap. We tested it. Oh, man. Bearish back test. But we'll see. If that 15-minute money flow can cross back into the green, guys, I will be looking for this long position. I'm going to take some profits here and move my stop loss to break even because we're already up over 1,000. But I will say if we do wind up continuing up, just don't forget that 15-minute money flow crossover could indicate. Oh, man, we're getting back below that anchor VWAP. We got to get above the anchor VWAP in the CME gap. That's not good. I don't like that. But if that 15-minute money flow can cross over into the green, maybe we can kind of just bing bong around here. Whoa, what the heck? Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of this one. And let's get rid of this one. So, yeah, hopefully, I don't like that. Perfect rejection on the CME gap. Now we're losing the anchor VWAP. But if that money flow crossover can come back into the green, flip that CME gap, I will be looking at the next local targets. Whoops. And again, with the 2-day red dot / blood, or no, the blood diamond is not on Bitcoin, right? I don't think it is. Or it's not, the red dot's not even printing yet, so we don't know. But yeah, with that 2-day red dot and the money flow crossover into the red on the 2-day, we have to anticipate lower highs and lower lows potentially. So I will be looking for some local targets here. If we could get back above that anchor VWAP CME gap, I'll be looking up towards the golden pocket, 84.7, 786 sitting at about 85K. Maybe if we can get above there, we could continue up. But, the goal right now, guys, within the profile here, like I said, we waited. We looked for the drop down to make some money on that short. And just waited to come down into here for our long confirmations. I got that SFP, took the trade, but got to be careful here because this POC might act as a magnet if we lose it. Could be looking down towards that value area low. But either way, now hopefully once I take profit here, if I get stopped out, I'll get stopped out in profit. I wish I was still holding the short from up here, but can't hate on making money, especially when you make it that fast on a little 2-day trade like that. Let's see. There's no fake out tonight. Frankie's pulling an all-nighter. Shout out to Giggle Longbottom. Let's go, baby. Let's go. But, guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Go out there, touch some grass. Shout out to all the people who just won a free bag of Cardano. And yeah, do we still have slow mode on? I think we still have slow mode from the giveaway. Let me go ahead and change that. Shout out to Tony D. Slow mode is now off. You can now comfortably spam the chat. But with all that being said, guys, I'll see you on Monday. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If something super crazy happens, we get a mega nuke to the downside, maybe I'll drop a market update over the weekend. But until then, you guys know all the key levels and my general plan of what I'm looking for. I'm going to take some profit on this long and move my stop loss to break even. Finally, I could chat. Shout out to Hugo. But thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you do, smash that like button on your way out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any urgent market updates and you don't miss the next move on Bitcoin. That's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Hasta pasta. I don't know. That's all I got. Bing bong.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way, way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
She's super deflated, guys. This is going to be a long weekend. I'm going to pass out. I got to go finish. I got to finish inflating Mrs. Candles. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Monday. Shout out to Creighton C for reminding me of my outro. That's crazy that I forgot it and you had to remind me. But shout out to Creighton C. That's all I got, guys. See you Monday. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal